Hello and welcome back to our discussion of Doctor Who series.
What's that voice?
Series 14.
Season
welcome.
14.
Flipping pedantics.
Hello, people who watch this video.
Season
14.
I am Lucy.
And I am not Lucy. We've broken the chain.
Depends who does the intro.
Is that a rule?
I don't know.
14 seasons in, 15 videos down the line.
I've just made it a rule. Here's my other ghost t-shirt, if anybody...
Oh, yeah, is it a different one from last time?
That one person that liked my last one, thanks very much. Oh, it focused on the Cardinal's face.
Of course it did.
That's very funny. Yes.
Brilliant. This is technically now a dirty
This is number
video.
2. If Ghost Merchandise would like to sponsor me, that's good.
What is this voice you're putting on?
I don't know, is it not my real voice?
No, it's far from it.
Well, that's all our jibber.
That's all the news has to say. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Chris. This is not Chris, and we are here to talk about season 14 of BBC TV's Drew.
Doctor Who.
We're at Mr. and Mrs. Muggs today.
Yeah. Not that you can see yours, but...
Mine's over here.
Not that you can see mine, to be honest.
Where?
Never mind.
Where? So, where to begin? Last series you enjoyed, if I recall. You had a good time with last series. For those who haven't seen it before, Lucy's not seen much of classic Doctor Who.
I have now.
I've watched a lot. Well, yeah, prior to this experiment,
I've watched quite a lot now.
I'd seen about 2/3 of it, and now we've watched collectively 14 seasons each. So we're here to see what we thought. You like last series? Stories like Pyramids of Mars and what do we call it? Seeds of Death, Seeds of Doom.
Brain Morbius.
Brain Morbius. The Android Invasion.
Yes.
What else? Terror of the Zygons.
You're cheating. You're just reading it off the shelf.
I'm having to because I can't quite remember what the other one was.
Cheater.
It'll come to me. Cheater, chicken eater. What?
I'm not a chicken eater.
Whoa.
Just for the record.
But here we are with the Masque of Mandragora, or Mandragora, for those who are pedantic, but they say Mandragora in the episode. What's the Masque of Mandragora about? Maybe you?
The Doctor and Sarah Jane end up in Italy. Is it Italy?
I believe so.
Yes.
And
I
will fact check.
can't remember why they're there. Did they just appear there?
No, they bump into something in the time vortex. Hello.
Yes, they do.
And they make a crash landing, as it were, an emergency landing, and the thing comes with them.
Yes.
Mandragora.
Sorry, I just want to. And
Mandragora.
they've come at like a Renaissance-y period, haven't they?
Yeah, well, he wants to go and see Da Vinci while he's there.
Yeah, and there's like a feud going on between an uncle and a nephew because the nephew's father has died in mysterious circumstances.
It's very Curse of Peladon, in a way, isn't it?
If you think about it, a lot of Doctor Who stories are the same. Just reprocessed. But that's okay, that's fine. That's fine. We've all accepted it, and we all agree that it's fine.
It's cool!
Everything's fine. The world is burning around us, but at least we have some good episodes of Doctor Who. Anyway,
from the past.
Yeah, and then there's... should I go into specifics? No, spoilers.
Yeah, go into spoilers. If people are watching this, they've probably seen the Masque of Mandragora.
Turns out there's a...
Minnie's here, but she's just out of shot on Minnie.
There's a cult.
Yes.
That is using the power of something that lured the Doctor and the TARDIS
the Mandragora Helix.
Yeah, dragged it to the location that they're in.
The head of the cult is Hieronymus.
Yeah.
The head of the astrology group that are living inside the catacombs.
Yeah.
Yes.
They wear very scary masks.
Yeah, they do.
They are pretty creepy though, aren't they? Legitimately.
They go full on culty with this. They're doing weird,
sacrifice of a virgin, maybe.
Yeah, it felt like somebody
maybe
really.
maybe.
It felt like somebody really.
Maybe.
It felt like somebody really enjoyed the Sisterhood of Khan scenes from last series from the Brain of Morbius.
Friggin' loved it.
They were like, let's do it again, but this time with dudes. And the dances they're going to do are even more ridiculous.
There's a lot of spinning.
So much spinning.
So much spinning.
So much
in
spinning.
Everything.
The most spinning.
Spinning is proof that you're part of the occult?
I guess. This has got some great stuff. This has got the Doctor sort of wiggling his way on a horseback. It's got
sword fighting.
Yeah, Sarah Jane taking absolutely zero shit.
Yeah.
And having to be completely overpowered before she's sort of in a position to be used for the cause of Mandragora.
Yeah. She gets like hypnotised in it, doesn't she? Like to infiltrate the Doctor. Do you remember?
Yes, this is the one where she's going to kill him.
She drinks that like wine thing.
Yeah, mess with the head. Yeah, because a few people sort of get put in a position where they're going to murder someone else, and they don't recall a damn thing. I was getting confused with the Hand of Fate. I was like, doesn't she get? But no, he hypnotises her briefly in the Hand of Fate to try and find out what she had in her head.
Sarah Jane's
when she was under the influence. Because remember in that one, he goes to do it, and she's like, no, not again, and he does it, and she just drops. And it's like, it's like even she's like, this is becoming a thing. This is becoming a fucking
and I don't like
joke at this point. Yeah. So yeah, and she nearly kills him, and she has no recollection of nearly doing it after she wakes up, and he just is like, come on, just forgets it. Which happens again in the series with Leela.
Yeah, it does.
In face of
come on, wake up, let's go.
Nah, and he takes it all very well, doesn't he? His friend's nearly killing him. He just takes it in his stride and moves on.
He does take it in his stride. His long Tom Bakery stride.
Hello. Oh god. What's really good about this one is turns out they aren't the reason it happens, but they're partially responsible in that them being in the vortex allowed the Mandragora helix to make its way there to Earth. But you find out during the story that it had already had an influence on these people.
Yeah. Like the cult didn't just
it was basically getting them to build a helicopter pad.
Yeah.
And it just needed to land.
Yeah.
And then take over and become a thing. It makes him super powered in the classic 70s way of he'll point or shout or his eyes will glow and people will go, ah! Ah!
Because he stepped into the light. And anybody else that will step into the light will die.
Yeah, well. I like the bit we take the mask off and there's just sort of like swirling nonsense behind it.
Twirling
towards freedom. Bob Dole.
That's the second time you used that quote today.
Thank you.
I'm sat on my Teflon.
You sat on your Bob Dole. Bob Dole. It is. Put it back underneath you. Put it back underneath you.
Thanks, Mr. Gremlin.
No one can see it. They might be. Actually, yeah, they can. There's a gremlin there. Apologies. He's sleeping.
Just casually gremlin.
Just chilling his bean. What do you think of Masque of Mandragora? It's been a couple of weeks since we watched it, but I remember it being one. We got through it in 2 sittings.
Yeah. And
we were not like, oh god, here we go. We're like, come on, bring it on.
I like historicals. That's why I think I enjoyed it.
This one gave you massive Assassin's Creed vibes.
Massive Assassin's Creed vibes.
Did it help me kind of come up with an idea for a Doctor Who video game as well?
In Italy, the surroundings and like costumes and stuff.
Yeah, the exact location
not
is
accents, but
San Martino in the late 15th century.
But also, if anybody's played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the cult in that it gave me massive vibes. Did that make sense? You know what I mean? Anybody that likes Assassin's Creed, hit me up. Let me know.
Anybody who likes a thing, let us know.
It's good that you like a thing. It's good to like things.
Masque of Mandragora. Liked it. We've got the Target novelisation actually. I believe it's one of your mum's.
Ghost.
It's one of your mum's Target novelisations, I think. Masque of Mandragora.
Probably.
So I didn't own it, and now it's in the house, so it's probably one of your mum's. The Hand of Fear. Talons arrives at a quarry. The guys are nearly caught in a rock fall. Well, they are, partially. The Doctor manages to survive, but Sarah Jane is unfortunate. She is nearly squished, but saved, although she finds a rock. A rock, like a statuesque hand with a ring on its finger. Yes. And
she grabs a hold.
She grabs a hold of it, and she's sort of in a coma, and they're a bit worried about her. And then eventually she gets up and takes the ring and the hand and jogs onto a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
And the boss of the sort of the head of security of the nuclear plant is like, oh, what bullshit is this? Get away, stop trying to investigate, but piss off, you know. And it is really weird because she's possessed. She keeps saying, Eldrad must live. They eventually snap Sarah Jane out of it, but by this point, other people have been infected. Like there's other guys in the place that start to be possessed by the hand.
The security, sorry.
And it needs to be irradiated. The point is, if it's irradiated, it will unlock the being that is contained within it. A godlike being known as Eldrad, who, spoilers for a 40-odd-year-old TV serial, eventually is resurrected She looks really cool.
Really, really cool.
She was pretty badass.
There's no figure of her.
There's no figure of her, but there is a picture of her right here.
Please show the picture because she looks really cool.
She looks like an absolute badass. She looks like if Star Trek and the Mighty Boosh came together to make a creature.
She hates that she looks like that because she thinks we're like primitive, ugly beings.
Yeah, she only looks like this because we'll kind of get it.
Yeah, even though like what?
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. There's good use of green screen in this one because there's a hand essentially running around for a long period of time.
She/he were overthrown by the people. You sort of realise, you get the sense at first that like they'd been cast out and punished.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get like frozen in time and whatnot, and they wanted to get back.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of it, you realise no, they were actually a horrible, vengeful, malevolent ruler.
Yeah.
Because when he reverts to his actual form, he's a nasty pasty, and then he's like, right, I'm going to use your TARDIS. My brother screwed me over. My people are long dead, and there's no one here for me to rule. So I'm going to use your TARDIS and force you to take me back to Earth. I'm going to rule Earth instead. It's like, yeah, not going to happen, fam.
No.
Not going to happen. Me old mucker. Is actual dialogue, I believe.
So doesn't she like explode? Or
no, she turns into. Yeah, they think that's what's happened, and then that big sort of creature thing comes out, and that's his actual form.
Hey, it's me, Doctor.
It's me, your old mate Eldrad.
Ooh.
This is the second story to take place with our home base, as it were, being the secondary console room.
Yeah.
What do you think of the secondary console room?
I like it. It's quite boxy.
It's quite boxy.
It's quite dark. There's not as many like fun features in it.
No, it's almost like a writing desk. Isn't it? All the buttons are in compartments.
I think like there could have been fun things on the wall, like little things maybe from previous series or.
Oh, like, one of those continuity things, are you? Well, or even just like stained glass windows, things like that.
Something like
lean into the churchy element.
Yeah, something on the walls. Maybe it's just a lot of pine.
I like the safety rails. The fact that there are like little platforms around the console with safety rails.
I guess that's where that comes from, yeah.
And it's weird because I don't know the specifics, and maybe someone in the comments can let me know, but it's clear they wanted a change of set, but they didn't want to commit to it in case people didn't like it, so it's the secondary console room.
Yeah.
And the secondary console room is not the console room, but you can leave through the doors and it will take you out the front of the TARDIS, and vice versa, you'll go back into that room now.
It's quite confused.
So it's almost like they've gone...
Confusing.
It's almost like they've gone, we don't want to commit to this in case people don't like it.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep referring to it as secondary console. You can probably assume that it goes back to the other one eventually.
It does.
It does. But I like it. I do like it as a room, and some of the sweetest scenes are in there, like the scene at the beginning and end of this story. That there's lovely scenes with the Doctor and Sarah Jane, but specifically at the end of this one, where he's trying to fix everything up, and he's not listening to her. She's kind of making a point, being like, I mean, she even references the trope. She says, like, I'm sick of being shot at, and strangled, and hypnotised left, right, and centre. And she's just like, I want to go home for a bit. Like she's essentially saying, I want to go home for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, are you coming with me or what? Like, what's happening? You take me home. Are you coming with me for a little? What's happening?
Yeah.
And he's not listening, and she goes and packs up her shit. And I love this scene because Liz Sladen is so good in this scene. She packs up her stuff. She comes back in ready to have a strop, and in the meantime, the Doctor has been contacted by someone on the planet Gallifrey.
Gallifrey.
And he's like, I've been summoned back to my home planet. Luna is sniffing the tripod, of course she is. I need to go.
Did she wobble it?
Yeah. It's like, I need to go.
Animals.
And Gallifrey rules state I can't bring a human with me. I can't bring anyone who's not a Time Lord back. So you've got to go. And at that point, Sarah Jane's sort of like, oh, are you just making up an excuse now?
Well, I can come with you.
And yes, I can come with you. And he's like, I'm not allowed. And you can kind of see that she's...
Bit gutted.
No matter how annoyed she's been, she doesn't want to leave him.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't want him to go out of her life. And he's like, he basically just spells it out. He's like, I don't know what they want me for, but I can't take you, and I don't know if I'll come back. Like, I don't know what this is about. And you know it's serious, because we know he doesn't want anything to do with the Time Lords, but whatever it is, obviously made him go, oh shit, I need to return. Yeah. And it's horrible to watch, because it's like, oh, like she was kind of pushing him to get him to listen. And then she made up her mind, no, I'm going. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to have to actually take you home. She suddenly, no. And she can obviously see that he's like worried about what he has to do, so she wants to stay with a friend, but she's not allowed to. And he drops her off in Croydon. And it's not
It's
Croydon.
not Croydon.
She makes friends with the doggo. Because
Yay!
of course she does.
Dog.
And in one fell swoop, one of the best companions in the show's run is gone. Now, you had a rocky relationship with Sarah Jane. You went in not... Anyone who watches knows this, but you went in not keen on Sarah Jane because your recollections of her from when you were younger was that she was a bit annoying.
Mm-hmm.
You have watched and enjoyed her modern stories and enjoyed them and liked her in them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You've watched a good chunk of Sarah Jane adventures here and there.
Mm-hmm.
You've never gone, oh, she's terrible in this. You've always quite liked her, but the thought of watching her in Doctor Who, the run that obviously made you think, oh, when you were younger, put you off.
Yeah.
What did you think of Sarah Jane's time in the show?
I liked her in this in the last series.
So the series where it was her and Tom with a tiny bit of Harry at the start and then an android invasion. Yeah.
I thought she really got into it last series and and the 2 episodes that she was in this series. I'm not like heartbroken though. No. I'm sorry. It didn't happen.
Is that because she didn't click for you, or do you think partially that's because you're like, well, I'm going to see her again at some point? So
no,
it's more like, oh, I'll see her again in the future.
She wasn't my favourite, so.
Okay. Do you like her more than you thought you were going to?
Yeah.
Why is that, do you think?
Because she wasn't whiny, screamy as much as I thought she was going to be. She was a little bit at the beginning.
She's very...
But I guess that's just because she was getting used to being the TARDIS companion.
Well, I also find that Liz Slane's performance, she has very realistic reactions to stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, she doesn't sort of go, ah! I don't know what that was. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh no, oh, she's really freaking out, which not a lot of people do, and it's not, that's not a slap down of other companions' performances, but it's, maybe that just didn't sit right with you, because you're very much a student of film and everything, so when something plays against type, it probably makes you go like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm a student of theatre, so when I see it, I go, good choice, that's different. Do you know what I mean?
I don't like change.
We don't even give change! But are you sad to see her go at that point? Are you like, mostly because like her friend is obviously going off to do something alone and she can't help?
I really, really liked her chemistry with the Doctor. I think they were really good Doctor and companion. Which
good. Doctor did you prefer her with?
Tom.
Did you like her series with John? I remember you enjoying it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
You were still sore from losing Katie. Lovely Joe. Come along, Joe.
I love Joe.
Well, don't worry. One day you will see both of them return in a story together, and it's glorious.
What's her actually name? Katie.
Katie Manning.
Katie Manning. Also, she's on Instagram, and she's adorable.
She's as mad as a box of frogs, and I love her.
She is.
The couple of times we've met her as well, she's been absolutely lovely. She's been really, really lovely. You did. She was in that lift. Katie Manning was in that lift.
The Lift of Dreams.
The Lift of Dreams. So we went to Doctor Who Celebration in 2013. Because we were participating, weren't we? I was hosting the Quiz of Razilon.
I wasn't doing anything.
Whatever it was called. I think it was called the Quiz of Razilon. That's a quiz in London. It was called something like the Quiz of Time or something like that. It was me and writer Cavan Scott were hosting this quiz for kids to play. It was one of those where like they wanted me for the weekend, but I was like, I'm not available because CBBC are doing live Doctor Who stuff on the Saturday. And then well, if we get you down for the Sunday, we do it for the Sunday. And then I got there on the Sunday, and in classic event style, the people were lovely, but they didn't really know how to explain to me what the concept was. So they were like, Cavan's still here. Do you want to like do at least one round with Cavan? And I was like, because he'd done it the day before. And I went, sure. I said to Cavan Scott, I was like, you alright to do it? And he went, yeah, sure. And we just ended up teaming up and doing it for the whole day, because why not?
Nice. It was good.
He's a lovely man. Stop keeping in touch.
Oh, good.
He's writing Star Wars now. He's writing all the expanded media for Star Wars.
No way.
He's doing good.
That's cool.
Good boy.
Good for you, Cavan.
Well done, Mr. Scott. He also wrote some of my favourite Ninth Doctor stories in the Titan comic.
Yeah.
But he and I had a laugh that day doing that. And then at one point, we went back to the hospitality suite upstairs of the XL, and we got in a lift. And you were wearing my Fourth Doctor scarf.
Yeah.
And we got in a lift, and if I remember correctly, it was, I've forgotten her name, but Adjoa, who plays
Martha's mum.
Martha's mum.
Yeah.
Is it Francine Smith? I can't remember. But Martha's mum. It was...
No, it's Jones. Martha's
Oh, yeah, Jones, yes. Francine Jones. Smith and Jones. It was John Levine, K9,
K9.
who spoke to you and asked you about the scarf. It was Katie Manning.
Oh.
And I can't remember. There was someone else in the lift. Who was it? Because I think we were just kind of like, this is nuts that we're sharing. It might have been one of the chaperones, actually, was the other person.
I think it was.
But it was just like, this is nuts.
And I, at that time, had no idea. I knew who Martha's mum was.
Yeah.
Because I'd only watched the modern series. Bless you, Luna. Right on my foot, thanks. It's just throwing me off now. What was I saying?
The cat rotavirus. Like you didn't quite know who everyone was. You didn't quite know who everyone was.
Oops, sorry, I'm not.
Because I remember it was after we left the lift. You were like, "Who's that bloke?" Because he just said he looked at your scarf and he went, "Like, imagine how many."
No. He said to me, he like proper leaned in. And he said, "How long would it take to make us? How long do you think it took to make that scarf?"
Mm.
And I was like, and I wasn't a knitter at that point. And I was like, a long time. And then they laughed between them.
They laughed, and then he sort of said, "I wonder how many like miles of material over the decades have been used to replicate that scarf." Yeah. And it was genuine, kind of like, that's a fascinating thought. I mean, that scarf is hung up on the back of that door in here,
and I'm currently knitting one.
Yeah, as a custom for a chum.
Paul, it's taking ages.
It is a while.
It's a long garment, okay.
But I remember we got out of the lift, and we were with, it was you, myself. Cavan wasn't with us at that point. I think he was with his daughters, wasn't he, in the convention centre? We were with lovely Guy Lambert.
Tiny Guy Lambert. We love you guys.
And you said to me, who's the man who was asking about the scarf?
Who are you?
And I went, it was Canine. And he went, you what? I was like, it was Canine.
Canine.
Affirmative. I got to, what's it?
Good one.
I got to do the Sarah Jane event called The Attic in 2017, 2018? 2018. 2017. Katie Manning attended that. She was bloody lovely. She was going around making everyone brews backstage. She's mental. She's lovely, and she's mad and cuddly and sweet, and yeah.
She's my second favourite companion.
After Jamie. Is it still Jamie?
Wait, Jamie. Oh no.
Wait, who's your first favourite? Donna.
No.
Me.
No.
Okay, that's tough because Ian and Barbara come to mind, but that's two people.
Who's my favourite out of them though?
Barbara.
Yes. Barbara's my favourite companion because she's like Sass McGrath.
So Barbara, Joe, Jamie. All right, okay.
Oh, I love them so much. I love all three of them so much.
Well, that's the beauty of the show is we get to meet so many different people.
Yeah.
So as we say goodbye for now to Sarah Jane Smith, see you in about 16 seasons time. No, see you in a spin-off at about 4 seasons time. As we say goodbye to Sarah Jane Smith.
No, Luna, no.
We head off companionless for now to Gallifrey. Luna's jumping on stuff, folks.
Oh, she's going to climb down.
It's fine. She'll stay back there. What is the plot of The Dead Lawyer Assassin, in the words of Tom Maurice K.O.A.A. I love Tom Maurice K. Bless him.
I'm not heard from Tom.
He passed into the death zone on Gallifrey.
Oh no, Gallifrey. Not Gallifrey. Gallifrey.
Did you say Gallifrey? Right, you want me a fiver?
Why?
I was going to see which one of us cracked first and said Gallifrey.
Well, I didn't know that.
It's not called Gallifrey in this season. For some reason, it's called Gallifrey. All right, I'll accept a cream egg. Thank you.
Yeah, you told me off for buying, but now you want one, so...
Because they're tasty. What happens in the Deadly Assassin?
The Doctor is told to go to Gallifrey. He doesn't know why.
And even when he gets there, no one's like, we're here to meet you.
Hello, welcome back.
So someone random has summoned him.
Yeah.
As he arrives, what happens to him?
They see the TARDIS, the
Time Lord, the guard, I can't remember what they're called now.
I don't know what they're called. Anyway, they see the TARDIS and they're like, that's an old model, wonder where that's from.
What the balls is that doing here?
What is this? Who is... Why? What?
What in Titty's name is this doing here?
Thank you for my cream egg. Not sponsored, but we will be if you want us to be. Cheers.
Chin chin.
What was his name?
So
they're looking at it and they're like, that's a really old model, and they're not in distribution anymore, and then nobody's flying one at the moment. Oh wait, this person is flying it, and they should be arrested. And there's a hilarious scene where the Doctor goes to go out of the console room, the main console room, isn't it?
No, secondary.
But he leads them through the main one, doesn't he? And then goes through the second one and goes out when they go in.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. It's a little like...
It's been a couple of weeks.
It's a thing. It's funny. It was a be there thing. And he...
But what does he see when he first arrives?
I don't know. The vision of the president being assassinated. So he goes in and he ends up stealing an outfit which looks fab.
And hangs up his in the exact spot where the other one, the ceremonial robes are hung up. And he goes to the Panopticon, which is like the ceremonial kind of area within the Time Lord Citadel. And the president is going to address Gallifrey because he's stepping down. He's going to name his successor.
Yeah.
And as he predicts, he spots where the shooter... He's got a shooter! He spots where the shooter is from his vision.
Get out, Alan.
And he goes to wrestle him. And then the Doctor somehow is holding the gun as the trigger is pulled and the guy dies. And you're like, oh. And this is death. This is not regeneration. This is the Time Lord President is dead. So they can't name who the successor is. So you have Chancellor Goth and the esteemed Time Lord Barusa, who's the Doctor's old tutor, like they're sort of now trying to figure out what to do. And of course they're all like, well, Goth, he was obviously going to name you. You're like the most noble and wonderful person. And he's like, look, we'll go through the democratic process, but what we need to do is keep this contained. Let's find out who did this, put them to jail, and then we will figure out. You know what I mean? Put them to jail. What? You put someone to jail?
That's not a sentence.
Put them into jail. And then we will figure out the democratic process. But it has to be shown that the Citadel isn't in a array.
We have control over everything. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
that's not strictly true.
Meanwhile, is it the Castellan? Just want to double check his name.
Hello, Pudding.
Castellan Spandrel is working with his Runcible, the elderly fellow, because he was great. The Castellan is working with the Doctor after having apprehended him eventually.
Yeah.
Because he's like, there's some you. I don't believe it's you. Like you, I'm going to give you a chance to show me what evidence you have that this has been a setup. And they find some, and it starts to unravel the mystery because it turns out there is indeed a puppet master behind all of this.
There is
somebody who's gone into the Matrix to remove which is the Time Lord database, made up of information and computery things, but it's also there's like a storage of all the collected knowledge of previous regenerations of Time Lord society. So it's not like their personalities are trapped in there, it's their brain power is in there. And it's used as a computer, and that fuels the Matrix, and it means they can also recall memories, and Time Lord technology is advanced because they're like, we basically have a supercomputer made up of all these intelligent brains, brainwaves that can come up with stuff. So it's very important, but there are gaps and there are things not quite right. So the Doctor's like, let me go into the Matrix. Whoever's in there right now fiddling with it, I'll find them, and we'll figure out who it is. But there's a couple of very specific clues that lead them, even before then, to narrowing down the culprits behind this plot. Namely one that I had to rewind several times for you to get a look at. Now, first, explain what happens, and then tell the good people at home why you kept pissing yourself.
So, is it they go up there to investigate the area of the shooter?
The
shooter. That was my Alan Partridge impression. You can book me for parties and bar mitzvahs.
Partridges.
Hey! That's a joke, please don't hire me to do that. Anyway,
Please do.
Yeah, please don't. They go up there to investigate and they see... What is it they're looking? Is it it's the viewpoint, isn't it?
It's like a viewfinder, almost,
that goes directly to where the president was stood.
It's there to kind of imply that the Panopticon is more vast than the set allows.
And
so it basically looks like something you'd put 20p in so you could get a view of the coast.
The person that was there, essentially. The person that was there is now
we went to
still there.
Yeah.
He's still there, but he is small, and he is obviously an action man.
He has been killed with the tissue compression eliminator.
Yeah, that the Master has. Yeah.
Because this means that who's involved? Well, he's in front of the camera. He's right near the camera.
I spoiled that then. The Master. But yeah,
the Master. Why was he in the pose?
I don't
Loving it.
We had to rewind it constantly because it was so hilarious.
So when we've seen tissue compressed victims in the show before during Pertwee's era, they're always like, no, I'm just setting it up. They're always like scale models or like little model men.
Or they're green screened people.
Yeah, they had lunchboxes and stuff.
Lunchbox, yeah.
What was this one so obviously, Boo?
An action man.
And what did you scream when it first appeared on screen, Boo?
I don't know.
It's an action man!
It was very funny.
I had to keep rewinding to the reveal.
It was like, because it was very dramatic, because obviously it's an awful thing that the master has shrunk somebody down, killed them and shrunk them down. But it was the way that it was posed, it was an action man. It was very obvious that it was an action man. I'm sure at the time, no, probably even at the time they were like, oh my god, it's an action man.
It's an action man. Mom, it's an action man. Can we get an action man, Mom?
It's an action man.
Can we buy an action man?
Can we get a viewfinder, shoot the president and put an action man in it?
What?
What?
So the master's back.
Grassy knoll? What?
Grassy knoll? So the master's back. What's all that about?
Yeah. Why is he's all crispy and
because obviously we lost the wonderful Roger Delgado several years before the tragic accident.
Which is really, really tragic because he was such a good actor.
Yeah, I mean also for his family and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it meant that we couldn't get
for the rest.
We couldn't get what they intended to be a finale. The master, was meant to die in John's last story, sacrificing himself to save the Doctor's life in an ambiguous sort of, wait, is this friendship deeper than we realised kind of moment?
Yeah, were they brothers?
Not
like actual brothers.
I think it was Terence Dix wanted them to be. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was either Terence Dix wanted them to be and Barry Letts didn't, or it was the other way around. Or it was revealed that they were indeed siblings. So we didn't get that, but now enough time has passed.
Would that have been it for the master completely?
Yeah, he wouldn't have come back. They would have killed him off there and then. But then they bring him back here, implying that he's been off doing his own thing since we last saw him. Because last time we saw him was Frontier in Space.
Yeah.
Because he legs it, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he legs it before the Dalek story takes over proper and we go into Planet of the Daleks? And... yeah, he's back. He's at the end of his regeneration cycle.
Yeah.
He is screwed up beyond belief. He is, as you referred to him, crispy.
Crispy. He's a crispy flake.
He's a crispy, very crispy flake. Very flaky crisp.
Jack.
Flaky. Oh yeah, she's real good. So...
Throwback to a very old video.
Throwback to a YouTube sensation. So, yeah, he's back, he's buggered, and he's here, essentially, to get a new life cycle, steal it, but whilst he's on Gallifrey, cause political unrest.
Cause some ruckus.
Yeah, cause political unrest. Have the Doctor framed for it. He's the one who put the vision in the Doctor's head. So the Master summoned the Doctor to Gallifrey.
Yeah.
Beyond the Doctor's knowledge.
Gallifrey.
Have the Doctor framed, have the Doctor punished, ridiculed in front of Gallifreyan society, and then he's going to take... various artefacts, including, as you can see, the action figure is sporting there, the fabulous Sash of Rassilon. Yes. So it's the Sash of Rassilon, and the Great Key of Rassilon is what he needs. Then he's going to access the Eye of Harmony, like the sort of...
They're very dramatic names, haven't they?
They do, but they're great, though. The Eye of Harmony is like the sort of the black hole met the... implosion of the universe and all this, that, and the other that created time travel and powers Time Lord Society. Like, he's going to use it to wipe out Gallifrey.
Gallifrey.
But he's going to basically ruin it first and then wipe it out, and off he pops with a whole new regeneration cycle. And he's effectively immortal and unstoppable. And yeah, this is great. The sequence in the Matrix is great. Like, just this machine is being used to play against the Doctor. There's some stuff that's aged really well. There's some stuff that, like, I don't even think was scary at the time that's in it. Like, when the mountain suddenly has eyes. Because we realise at the end of this is not the Master controlling the Matrix. No, yeah, we realise at the end it's not the Master controlling the Matrix, is it? It's Chancellor Goth. Chancellor Goth is the one fighting the Doctor in the Matrix.
I forgot about that.
Because spoiler alert, Chancellor Goth is working with the Master. Although the implication is that he's been influenced to do it, so he's not even doing it by his volition.
Well, that's the Master's thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but like to do it to another Time Lord, it's like, oh, either the Master's super thingy, or this guy is like, this guy secretly does want to be in power enough that he's just given in and be like, yep, I'll help you out, mate. And yes, the mountain has eyes briefly, the cliff face, and you were like, Oh my! You said wait. So I was like, what? You're like, imagine if a little mouth appeared underneath the eyes, like the annoying orange or something.
I completely forgot about that. That's really funny.
Oh God! So
God, this show is so funny. I love it. I love it.
And there's the clown in the ground, where he like wipes the rocks away, and there's the clown just laughing at him.
What the hell?
But then there's some legit. There's some stuff that's scary that's then undermined a bit, like. He's just suddenly going through the woods because the whole point is the Doctor's like trying to survive in a hostile area with like bounty hunters and stuff coming after him. They're all Chancellor Goth, and he's like he's like poisoning the reservoir because of course in there the Doctor knows it's I deny this reality. This reality is a computation matrix. Like he knows it's not real, but it gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like starving. He's parched. He's like boiling and uncomfortable and tired. So he goes to drink water. So like the bounty hunter who's got like the netted face. Mm-hmm. Scooby-Doo villain style, like he's poisoned. Somebody's poisoned the water hole. So there's all this stuff in there. But there's this great bit where he hits. It's one of the cliffhangers where he hits the train tracks, and suddenly the junction box switches. I wish the junction box switches and it traps his foot in the tracks.
Oh yeah.
And then a mining train comes barreling around the corner, and you're like, that'd be terrifying if it weren't for the fact that the mining train doesn't look that big. And you immediately went, oh my God, it's like the little one at Gulliver's World or something. Yay. I was like, oh, for Pete's sake. Lego. I deny the reality.
I'm in.
But yeah, it ends with the Master getting sort of flung off. He makes his escape, doesn't he, at the end? He realises it. What I love is they get back to the TARDIS and then this grandfather clock dematerialises. And they're like, there's no one noticed the fact there's a grandfather clock.
Why would there
in
be
this
one
room?
of those here?
There's no one had any suspicion that may or may not have been a TARDIS. Like, what the hell? But then again, it's the Masters. Maybe it blended in. Maybe Gallifrey. Counter order. Maybe the planet of the Time Lords has grandfather clocks everywhere. Min!
Yay!
So, Deadly Assassin, what did you think? The one story we've had so far with just the Doctor.
I enjoyed it. I think there should have been more, really, with just the Doctor.
It's implied he gets up to adventures in the next one.
Yeah.
In the next one, he's been up to stuff, so it seems that there is a gap there, and I suppose that's where you could, if you wanted to do Fourth Doctor books on his own, that there's a place in the timeline for it. Yeah. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Pretty cool. One of my favourites, actually, from the original series. I really like the Deadly Assassin. I hadn't seen this one in full before, so this was a treat for me. On to new friends. We move on to the Face of Evil. There's two tribes, sort of. There's the mountain, sort of the mountain base dwelling group known as. Let me get the names right.
We were trying to figure this out before.
Yeah, we were on the Tesh. The Tesh. And the tribe-like Sevatim who live in the forests of this planet.
Yeah.
And they're at war, kind of. They leave each other be, but they attack, and there's plans to sort of usurp left, right, and centre. Yeah. And it's all because of their god Zoannon. The tribe are like old school kind of tribal like designs, but when you look at it closely, you're like, wait a minute, that's a blanket.
Yeah. That's
like part of a spacesuit. That chair, the throne that they're sitting on, stuff. That's literally just like the cockpit of a space shuttle. What is going on?
That hat is a glove.
Yeah. So that's the Sevatim, and one of their ranks, Leela of the Sevatim.
Hey!
Hey! Oh, welcome, Leela. She doesn't stand up well. She will fall over. Da, 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 da. Leela gets the Doctor. There we go.
Lead on your friends.
Leela of the Sevatim joins the show, played by the wonderful Louise Jameson, who again is an absolute babe in real life. She's really sweet.
She sings it in that video.
She's like proper glamour nana as well. Have you noticed?
She looks it. She looks fabulous.
She's glamour nana. Louise Jameson joins the show as leader of the Sevatim, who's like, I don't believe in all this nonsense. And she's banished from her people, and her brother helps her escape.
I wish you could see what I could see. Right?
What can you see?
That's Luna. Sorry.
What can you see?
She's just staring at me with complete disdain.
Well, she's a cat
with a chubby neck. Anyway, sorry. She's looking down the stairs. He's like, you're not feeding me, you must be evil.
So, is it a brother helps her get away? So it's
I
like
don't
a
know,
brother,
I think it's a friend.
They help her get away, and she bumps into a stranger in the forest who has the face of evil. Yeah, he said it. The face of Zoannon, apparently, this evil face carved into the side of the mountains. And it's the Doctor. The Doctor's like, I don't have no bloody clue what you're on about, love. And there's an invisible force attacking people out in the forest, and they get, like, apprehended by the tribe, and it's sort of it's like a shaman, isn't he? He's like a bloody shaman. What's he called? Shaman. It's like Thomas. It's one of them. There's quite a few of the guys. I can't remember all the names. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, he's like the witch doctor-y kind of.
And they're just like, you're a heathen, you're a demon, you're a devil, and we're gonna have you executed. There's this bit where they try and kill him by dropping him in this pit of things that rend your flesh, and
and
he's got
it's like a trial almost.
Yeah, he's got to like arrow this thing and stop it before it happens, and he does it, and he's bragging about like, is it William Tell taught him how to use a bow and arrow? You're just like, you sado. Have you noticed the Fourth Doctor more so than the Third Doctor name drops a lot? Yet we never see these adventures. No. We don't meet many historical figures in the original run of the show. Like, it's quite rare that it happens. Notable historical figures. Mm-hmm. It tends to happen more in the historicals, like with the Romans and stuff.
Yeah, that's the first one that came to mind.
But yeah, so it's he learns a few tricks. And they make their way into like the mountain, which is again sort of a lab or a ship or something, and that's when the Doctor basically pieces things together, because the god Zoannon has been speaking to the priest through a helmet.
Yeah.
Affecting his mind. And the voice of Zoannon seems to be the voice of the Doctor.
Yeah.
And this is where it first implies that he's been up to stuff since we last saw him, because the Doctor's like, I've been here before. He's like, it wasn't called this, it wasn't called this, and it was a different world back then.
He recognises the things around the room, doesn't he?
He fixed a computer. It's not called Zoannon, is it? It's got a different name, I think. No, it is Zoannon. Zoannon's the...
Yeah, that would make sense.
He fixes Zoannon. He'd fix Zoannon because it was all fragmented, but to help do it, he sort of made a copy of his own mind and put it in there.
A piece of him was left in there.
The problem is that it's gone completely askew, and it's now developed multiple personalities to cope, so it's become this malevolent force, and it is the invisible things out in the woods that's attacking people.
That's what happens when you don't use a firewall.
Oh, God. You get screaming Tom Baker chroma key face going, "Ah!"
And you don't want that, because that is genuinely scary.
Genuinely freaky.
It was very scary.
Especially when it's like, who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
And it's speaking in like the voice of a young girl, and it's his face, and it's like, what is this?
But also, did you mention that the entrance into this area was
Tom's
face on a wall, like a rock, like
with his mouth barely
like
open.
What's it of presidents?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
with his mouth barely open, because that's why Leela recognises him, thinks he's evil. Cause it's like you're the face of evil.
Of evil.
And then they go to climb through its mouth, because he's like, well, obviously he climbed through the mouth. And then they get there, and like, it's really, the sets are great in this. They're really good, but it's just sort of like, his mouth was not that wide open, the wide shot. I'm gonna eat myself.
Well, they could have gone through the nose.
Through the nose, my dear. He would have said, probably, if he were still around today. Oh, wait, he is. God, I hope he doesn't die between.
Oh no!
We can't even listen to publishing
it.
If he has, we're sorry, Tom. We love you.
Very sorry.
Here, have a ray gun made with 2 little testes on top. This is the gun from that story.
That is.
Although, have you noticed they're less testy-like on the toy?
Yeah.
They're more like a tube.
Yeah, I think they did that for a reason.
Yeah, it's just a shame. It also doesn't fit in Leela's hand very well.
Oh.
And it came with Leela. So, she also comes with a crossbow.
That was a nice little makeup trick you did there that people do.
Yeah, so you can see the thing.
This is the product I'm using today.
Yeah, it's a gun with testes.
It's a gun with testes.
It's a gun with testes.
And it makes a funny sound.
So the Tesh and the 17 go to war, and you realise that basically what's happened is once upon a time... They go to war
quite quickly, and it's quite...
Well, you realise that once upon a time, the reason this conflict's been there from the beginning is because... And the reason why they're so eager to fight is because they've been led to believe that it's us versus them.
Yeah.
And it isn't. These guys are basically descendants of people who crash landed or researched here in the past, who over time like regressed. The society has regressed. Like once upon a time, they invented Xoanon, and now they are a psychic but like non-meddlesome and non-involving tribe of the Tesh inside. We're all peace and technology, but also we threaten you and we'll cut a bitch. And then you've got the Sever team outside who are like, you know, bows and arrows and killing and hanging stuff and skinning it and wearing it, and it's just like
wrapping it up,
covered it in bees. It's like, what is going on? So it's a great idea because it's. Do you know what it reminded me of? Funnily enough, what it made me think of?
Go on.
The Doctor's Daughter, which is basically the same plot, kinda.
Sort of.
Because they get there and they've got no soldiers left, these humans, so they're using machines to basically make offspring, like clone DNA, to make a new person to add to their ranks.
Yeah.
And it's to fight against the Hath.
And they automatically know how to walk, talk, and...
Oh yeah, but it's to fight against the Hath. And then, like, Martha meets the Hath, and the Hath aren't remotely dangerous at all, but they are also, like, ready to fight, and they're trying to get their ranks up. And that's when Donna clocks with the dates. This war hasn't been going on for centuries, it's been going on for, like, 7 weeks. And it's like everyone is... they're all progenitors, they're all results of the cloning thing. So they are all aging rapidly. Do you know what I mean? So they think, like, oh my god, Minnie banged her head on leader of the 7 team.
Oh,
you okay, Min?
Are you okay?
The hell.
You Wally.
So,
Okay?
she's fine.
Oh my god.
She got tough like a little rascal, though.
What a silly dog.
So,
Let's
maybe keep her still. Oh god.
Have you got a concussion? Are you okay? Come here. Oh god. She stopped working. Come on.
She stopped functioning.
Come on. Are you okay? Are you okay?
How are you doing? It's one for the ghost fan out there.
One ghost.
How are you doing?
We gotta stick together.
You're doing well in the summer heat. Are you in heat?
He's just gonna do the whole thing.
Yes. It turns out that they're all descended from that, and yeah, do you know, it's the same thing as the Doctor's Daughter in a way. It's like it's a war that has only happened because of a mistake, and they believe it is one thing and it never has been that at all, and both sides should absolutely be working together. Because once they manage to correct it, after the computer, which is deranged, nearly does some horrible shit. Like, again, Leela is all mesmerised and is going to kill the Doctor, and then he stops it from happening. This happens a few times, people nearly killing everybody. The Doctor, especially when they're, that's really creepy, they're all zombie-like, they're all trying to stop him at the end.
Yeah.
But the Doctor corrects it, and Xoanon sort of wakes up and is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I was never meant to do this. And he's like, right, okay, let me work together to help. And even, sort of as a trust exercise, he gives the Tesh and the Sever team his self-destruct button. He basically is like, if you want to blow me up now, do it. Yeah. But if not, I want to help you. And the Doctor kind of presents it to them all, and they're all suddenly like less bloodthirsty, and he's like, right, well, there you go. So it's a happy ending. Like, the two tribes are left to figure it out, and with the help of Xoanon, develop a better society. And then Leela's like, I want to come with you. The Doctor's like, yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, and then she just freaking worms past him.
Just rubs him.
Leela has joined the team. What do you think of Leela in the first adventure?
I like Leela.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, she's badass.
She's good. And you can kind of see what relationship they're going for. They've had contemporary people, they've had people from recent history and not too distant history, so that the Doctor can kind of teach them things, but it's more so for the point of view of the viewer. Now we have a Doctor who's very chatty and up for talking, suddenly with a companion who kind of needs to be told everything, which could be annoying, but this is a kids' show. Younger kids won't know some basic stuff about certain things in history and whatnot. So it helps to have a character that can be like, what is that? And he's like, oh, well, that's this, that, and the other. And it also sort of gives like a Girl Friday kind of thing. Like he's the professor, and this is his like savage that he's found on an island, and he's going to show her the world. And well, not that. Well, yeah, My Fair Lady, as in My Fair Lady. See, they loved it so much they fell over.
And Min nearly broke my nose.
Well, you nearly broke a skull. So.
Oh, silly.
And now suddenly all these dudes on the table are about to make sense, because we are up to the Roberts of Death.
Take your leg off me.
What's the Robots of Death about, my view?
They're on a mining ship.
Well, it's sort of colony thing in it. Like
well, so pedantic. They're on a mining colony ship thing, boat, car, vehicle.
Train, plane, or
and they're mining stuff. And the Doctor and Leela, and there's a Barbara.
Who can't stand up.
What? They are where the vehicle is mining, and they end up on this mining vehicle. And members of the crew start...
Very wealthy members of the crew.
...dying. And it's a whodunit.
In space!
And they're all chatting about money and how well off they are and how important they are. But their costumes are fantastic.
Oh god, the design
really,
in this
really
one,
good.
yeah.
And they use the robots, and they're at the beginning, foreshadowing, they're talking about how the robots can't injure anybody. And
Yeah, because it's one of the first rules of robotics, isn't it? Robotism. It makes it sound like a condition. Yeah.
Oh, I've come down with a terrible case of robotism.
I've come down with a case of the robots.
Robots.
I am not an evil robot.
And these are the robots.
Hold my hand. The Vok robots.
The Vok.
She is not going to stand up. She's just going to have to lean on these. There we go. Lean on me.
Yeah, and it's the Doctor's trying to find out what's going on, who done it. The crew automatically think that it's the Doctor and Leela that are doing it.
People are being murdered and strangled and left in cupboards.
Must be the stranger.
These two randos have shown up. It's got to be you. Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
And it's not. The robots have got the capacity to kill people, and they do. One by one, the crew get knocked off, don't they?
Bumped right off.
Bumped off, not knocked off. That's not what I meant.
One by one, the crew get knocked up.
Oh my god, no! And turns out that one of the crew is the son of the guy who created these beings. And he thinks that they are, that humans have turned into a lesser being, these people should be in charge of things, and so has got them to kill people off so that they can rule the world.
Yeah, he's essentially like trialing, isn't he? Like
and
the
he paints himself
eventual
the same
overthrow.
colour.
Which is
And it's
creepy.
like,
Nothing says.
This man's not mental.
Nothing says this
healthy.
guy is insane so easily as him painting himself to look like the robots. Dressed basically as a green Vok, and then with his face paint. Looks like Iron Man, doesn't he? It's like that bit in Siege when Iron Patriot's like losing it and he's finally defeated and Stark hacks into his armour and like dismantles it, and it's Norman Osborn in there and he's painted his face like the Green Goblin.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember?
No.
Because that's when the moment Spidey finally like gets involved. Spidey just comes over and decks. He just goes, "Norman, shut up," and he just punches him, clocks him out.
Norman with his cornrows.
Norman with his cornrows. Tommy Lee Jones looking Norman as well because it's
Yeah.
it's Brian Hitch. Or is it Oliver Copiel?
Well, we're not talking about that at the moment.
It's a good book though. It's Oliver Copiel. It's right behind you. Yeah. There's a bit in a Marvel thing where the former Green Goblin has been in an armour and leading S.H.I.E.L.D. and and when he's eventually defeated by the actual heroes, the armour falls off and he's painted his face to look like the Green Goblin underneath because the Goblin personality's been creeping back in. Much like this guy's robot fascination has taken over, so he has painted his face to look like one of the robots.
Gone back to the robots.
Robots! This is great.
Really
this
good.
is so much fun. Because it is a flat-out whodunit.
Yeah.
Complete with many tropes of it all, like, you know, red herrings and characters that you're sort of led to believe might have some... Like the head of it all who's a massive...
Yes.
And it's like, no, turns out he's just a massive twat, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you have the guy who's ahead of it all, the one who's like calm and collected, and then the whole trauma of it just hits him, and he's basically like a vegetable.
Goes insane, yeah.
And you've got the evidence that shows that maybe the robots are being tinkered with, because you've got the one that's bashed in, but it's also got bloodied hands.
Yeah, is this the first time that you see blood in Doctor Who?
We've seen blood, but not like this before. This is the
like
first sort of like,
gory.
oh, that is gore right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
We have a secret, because it turns out that the Doctor and Leela aren't well, they are the sort of, Marple, Poirot kind of element, but they're not the only ones. There's already someone investigating on behalf of the production line who are looking to they've got word that something is wrong, and they've sent a robot specifically to monitor it all,
keep an eye out.
and that is D84. Who I think is probably your favourite character this series.
He's dead cute.
I mean, there's a couple contenders in the next episode for favourite characters of the series, but there's something about D84. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, let me know in the comments below, but I wouldn't be surprised if D84 was the seed that was planted that leads to another character joining next year. Because he's such a wonderful addition to the show, and his interactions with the Doctor and Leela are great. To the point where the Doctor is the one who's constantly reinforcing throughout this. Leela's like, oh, they, maybe grew angry. And he's like, robots don't go angry. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they're robots. The Doctor has sort of been continuously up to this point very kind of like a machine is a machine.
Yeah.
Machine is a machine. There's no such thing as ghosts. Magic's bullshit. He's been very like that as time's gone by, and yet at the end of this one. He's actually really, really upset when D84...
Yeah, he doesn't want him to go.
He's in the line of danger. He's like, no!
He blows himself up.
It's bloody horrible. D84 is wonderful. When he stops, when he goes to check on, I can't remember her name now, but when he goes to collect her in her bed heels.
Bed heels.
Yeah. She basically just goes to bed for a lie down, and she just removes basically her headpiece and her cape.
Keeps her
and we were like, are those her pyjamas? Eventually we realised, no, that's the costume she's been wearing, just without the cloak.
And she was sheeping.
She was sheeping.
She was sheeping. She was sleeping in a shell.
Yes, she was. In her bed heels.
In her bed heels. In a golden shell.
The sets were so good in this one.
They were really good. And the costumes
the lounge area
fabulous,
and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like, it's this weird... It looked like an Indian restaurant.
It did.
It was beautiful.
But there was a very adorable moment where... This is obviously all new to Leela. And it's... The concept of a couch or a sofa is new to her.
It's so subtle.
And it's just one moment where she throws herself onto the sofa. She's not even in focus, it's the Doctor that's
he's in the foreground doing dialogue.
And she just throws herself and she's got such a big smile on her face. It's like, oh my god, you're so cute.
She's never known a chair to be so squishy.
It's squishy, let's throw myself on it.
This is fucking cute. Pardon me. It's flipping cute. Effing cute.
Frickin' cute.
What is also freaking cute is when D84 goes to collect the lady and opens the door, and she's previously been attacked by one of the green Vox, and it's trapped its hand in the doorway.
Yeah.
And she's sort of yanked it off, hasn't it? The door's crushed it, and its hands come off. So when the door starts opening again, and it's D84, and she doesn't know D84's on her side, so she lobs the severed hand at him, and he says, "Please do not throw hands at me." Which is such a great moment. It's like, oh.
That is something that has been said between, I'm pretty sure it's you and Matt.
I mean Guy as well.
And Guy.
Guy too, yeah.
Guy Lambert. We love Guy Lambert.
Lovely Guy Lambert.
What was his name? Okay. So now I understand it. And it was something I would say as well, but obviously I had no context because I had no idea.
Oh, it's on the front.
Yeah. So that was a nice moment. There was a big cheer.
Voice work is great. SV7 is Miles for the Gill, and D84 is Gregory de Paulnay. They are brilliant. The vocal performances of the robots are great.
Yeah.
Because they're just this pleasant, harmless, sweet voice.
Mm-hmm.
They just sound like this and sort of have a slight lisp and sound quite pleasant. And you're just one of them does, and it's just sort of these guys are nice. You can absolutely buy that. We're at the point where society has robots on tap. So, they sound nice.
They do.
They don't sound mechanical or grating or stark. They're just pleasant. And it's that's a great choice. Mm-hmm. They're obviously as well, we spoke about this, they're clearly sort of the foreground, the forefathers rather, of other characters in Doctor Who, namely the Ood. Mm-hmm. A subservient race who use electronics to speak and sound very pleasant. And then suddenly start saying horrible things in their pleasant voices. The beast and his army shall rise from the pit and wage war with God, and all that stuff. And also the angels in Voyage of the Damned.
On the Titanic.
They've got a name, but I can't remember what it is. But they,
those guys.
Information. You are all going to die. And just oh shoot!
Creepy.
I think they more so than the Ood are clearly a reference to this era of human ingenuity.
I think so,
yeah. But yeah, it's what a great story. What a great story. Robots of Death. We throw 2 thumbs at it.
Definitely.
Please do not throw thumbs at me. And now, to the big bloody elephant in the room. At the time of recording this, those articles have just gone out talking about how this story did not have a warning caption on BritBox. They probably should have put a warning caption on it, because what follows now is our... Okay, we're not going to dwell too much on the political correctness of this, or on the racial sensitivity of it, because we are white, there are certain experiences we cannot speak on behalf of.
Yeah.
But, accidental as it may be to a point, there's a big racist decision or two in this story.
Oh, God, yeah.
Can we, connoisseurs of television and film, put on our 70s glasses and get through it to watch the story? Yes. Did it still make us go, oh, in places?
Yeah.
Yes.
It made you want to retract into the sofa, then into the wall, then into the ground.
It made our heads want to do what that busted Vok robot's head was doing.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The Talons of Weng-Chiang. The Doctor and Leela go to Victorian London during the time of the Ripper murders, but there's a concentrated series of abductions in a certain area of London that turn out to be being facilitated by the conjurer, magician, and hypnotist Li Sen Chang, who is, I was going to say I better get the name the right way around, but I'll be honest, that's the least offensive thing that this story has done. Li Sen Chang has been helping to kidnap young girls off the streets to help fuel his master, Weng-Chiang. Who is he's like a Chinese god who is deteriorating, and he can do many things. He's been known to shrink and grow things to his will and all this, that and the other, but he's dying, and he's living sort of in a lab beneath the theatre that Chang performs at regularly. And so he's bringing him young girls. So eventually they're going to get found out. So when he takes those girls
into the vanishing cabinet, he is essentially...
not always with the girls. No, not always with the girls.
Guys?
No, they're mostly getting them off the street, but it's moments of desperate because they were doing it further away from. They were doing it in the same area, but they get desperate as the story goes on. They start bringing people who are nearer, and it's out of an act of desperation because he's like, I need them, and he's like, right, well, I'm just gonna have to act quickly then, aren't I? Jesus, we're gonna get caught out.
Get the cleanup.
Got the leaves. And so the theatre is run by Christopher Benjamin in a wonderful performance as Henry Gordon Jago.
So good.
Talks sort of things like this, and talks in this very manner, and then the moment everybody's moving on, he sort of sits back in his common parlance, and he's good with his booze nose and his big old tash and mutton chops, and he's great. And he runs the theatre, and
so good.
So once the Doctor starts investigating stuff, he sees himself. He sort of fancies himself as a bit of a sleuth. And he joins him in his investigation because he believes the Doctor's been employed by Scotland Yard when really the Doctor and Leela are caught up in a murder, or a gang are trying to murder someone, a gang of Chinese gentlemen who are working for Chang, and they get brought in, and the Doctor basically points out more evidence to it all than the police officer. The police officer kind of is like, all right, okay, you investigate then.
You're a suspect, but now you're in charge.
Which of course leads the Doctor and Leela to meeting Professor Lightfoot, played by Trevor Baxter,
who is also wonderful.
Rest in peace, you lovely man. And he's a great addition. Again, this story's great because it really reminds you why the Doctor is such an addictive person to be around.
Yeah,
you haven't really, I don't know. I think because we started an era with a companion. They're already a thing, like him and Sarah. Harry's sort of along for the ride, and then leaves when he gets the chance. He's like, I'm going to bugger off now, Doctor. We'll see you later. Goodbye, old girl.
Bye, old girl.
And Leela, you see it in the face of evil. Like, the enthusiasm is back of, like, she's fascinated by this guy, because she thinks he's an evil being.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, she's, like, hanging on his every word.
Oh, you gave me a jelly baby.
Yeah, this story reminded me of, like, when Jo first joins, and when, like, Vicky first joined. It's that kind of... Do you know what I mean? Like Lightfoot and Jago are completely bought into the world of the Doctor, and they're fascinated by him, and they want to help. They do great things because he gives them the nudge, and they're like, all right, like they believe in him.
The Doctor would the Doctor would do this, so let's do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, and good God, it works so well. The thing is, that's what sucks about this. There are some bad decisions made in here. In terms of representation of race. Some terrible decisions. I, again, as a white male, so I have no place to say it in its entirety, but from my perspective, which is not the most important one here, is I'm less offended when the guys in the story refer to people in certain slang and certain shortcuts when it comes to race, because it's period specific. And were it done in modern day, like if a story like this were made now, they would either make the decision to not do that at all just not do it, or do it and reference it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the companions are mostly now from modern times. In the current era, they've done it a few times in Jodie's era, where characters, especially in Rosa, of course, being the most prominent example. But that one is a story about race relations and about racism and systemic racism and everything. But there's, you know, Martha's time, there's a couple of like references to her skin and everything in previous periods. Well, they don't make a meal of it, and I think that's why me, again, as a white man, my opinion on this is not the most important one. Just reiterating that now. Like, I can stomach it because in my head I go, right, it's depicting the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it right, and they could just not do it, but by doing it and sort of making reference to it in the modern show of like, why, how can they say that? Like, it's just a difference. Look, we can't make waves. I'm really sorry, and things like that. Or like in Thin Ice, when Nicholas Burns' character just flat out refers to the Doctor basically says to Bill, because he makes a racist statement. He sort of says to Bill, he's like, look, it's of this time. Like, just I'm really sorry about that. We should have to lump it. And then he refers to Bill in a negative racial way, and the Doctor just punches him out because you realise he's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't be polite. It's a racist as sin. Not as racist as Mr. Sin. Mr. Sin's not racist. Mr. Chang, however. But that's the thing with this story. There's so much of it hanging over it that is. I mean, the most obvious one is John Bennett as Lee Sang Chen. Lee Hsien Chang. Lee Hsien Chang. I'm going to say Chang because I don't want to trick myself and confuse myself so much. John Bennett as Chang. As a performance, as a character, and when I say performance, I mean performing that character and their role in the story.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
Really good, yeah.
Intimidating, scary, slimy. You completely see why he's devoted to Weng-Chiang, why he thinks this is the right thing, but at the same time, you can see his confliction. He's like, what am I doing? When he has to be scary, he's great. When he dies, he's great. But he's in yellowface. Yeah. It's a white actor playing a Chinese role. Now,
that was it.
Could we have had John Bennett still play the part? Yes. He doesn't have to be Lee Hsien Chang. He could be a British gentleman. Like, we have a character in this already, Lightfoot, who grew up in China. Yeah. Who's a British character who grows up in China, and that's why he has some knowledge of the stuff that's going on. You could do that with Chang. The character could be a different character who has kind of like... And again, that's a comment on how sort of there's the white saviour trope. It could be a commentary on the appropriation of Chinese culture. And he's like sort of putting on the Chinese thing. Not dressing as a Chinaman, but like using kind of the aesthetics, using the costumes and the terminology and stuff. And it could be that. And it's the whole idea of like, it would then imply that he's someone who's looking for a purpose, even if he has to kind of pinch things from here, there and everywhere. And that's why he's so devoted to Weng-Chiang. You could have absolutely had John Bennett playing a character that was not a Chinese man. Yeah. But they did. And that sucks, because it really, again, we can't speak to it entirely, but it's insulting as hell. Yeah. And it's also, it mars a really good performance, because the more time passes, the more this story is going to just be, like, brushed under the carpet. Yeah. And that sucks, because as a story, and again, as just a performance, not an imitation, as a performance, John Bennett is really good. Yeah. And the story's really good. And that sucks. But people have debated about this a million times. Let's focus on the lighter side of it all. This has got one of my favourite scenes in all of Doctor Who. Which one? It's when they are watching Chang's show, because the Doctor's basically just looking for something he's not spotted yet. Yeah. And before it, we see Chang load one bullet into the revolver. And then he goes up to perform the show, and there's a trick where he has a deck of cards and he throws it up to the Doctor in the balcony, and he knows full well who he is at this point. Yeah. The two of them haven't met person to person yet, have they? But they know who one another is. Yeah. He throws the deck up, and the Doctor picks a card, shows the card, then Chang says put it back in the deck, and he does, shuffle it. And then he says hold it up, and then he gets the gun out, and he's basically, I'm going to shoot it. And I will. Was it the Ace of Diamonds? Yeah. He's like, I will shoot the Ace of Diamonds only. So you're like, oh my god, what a cool concept for a trick in general. Like, he shoots, and there's a bang, and then he finds the Ace of Diamonds. The Ace of Diamonds has a bullet hole through it. It's a great trick. But of course, we, the audience, have seen him load a bullet into that gun. Because if it was a stage gun, it wouldn't need bullets.
Yeah.
He loads a bullet into that gun, and the Doctor's just there, and he just staring Chang down, just brings the deck closer to his face. And it's the tensest thing. It's so tense. I love it. And then the clowning buffoonery that comes after that, when the Doctor becomes a volunteer and goes to the cabinet, and the moment they turn it around to sort of demonstrate how solid it is, he just gets out
and walks across the stage.
Oh my god. I love that stuff. Let's talk about something which I knew definitely rustled your jimmies in a good way.
Okay.
This, more than anything, this is referencing the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Very, very heavily. Very heavily.
I mean, Weng-Chiang, who's revealed to be a gentleman called Magnus Greel. He's not the god Weng-Chiang. He's like a colonel, like a general from this war from the past, who's been propelled forward through time.
He needs the time vehicle capsule. What does he say?
There's the cabinet of Magnus Greel.
The time cabinet. That's what he calls it, isn't it? They call it the time cabinet.
Yeah, the time cabinet because it's.
What are you doing? Get off my wall!
What he needs because his plan is, if I remember correctly, to go back and screw everyone over.
Yeah.
And he's got the Peking homunculus with him.
You're doing my idea.
Who is
sorry.
The Peking homunculus, who is Mr. Sin, who is a living ventriloquist doll that's actually a toy with a circuit and a pig brain in it.
No.
Actually, is he from the past or is he from the future?
Isn't it from the future?
I think it might be both.
Because he's like, how could you know all this to the Doctor?
Yeah, he's from the future. He's from the 51st century.
50, yeah.
So he's oh my god. He was the Minister of Justice from that period, and he allowed the deaths of over 100,000 people.
Right.
He propels backwards through time, and he's got the Peking homunculus with him, which is again, it's great because that's sort of playing on kind of ancient mythology ideas like the homunculi and golems and things like that. It is a toy with the cerebral cortex of a pig, and the sort of the animal instinct eventually takes over, and it stops playing and it starts doing its own things, and in this case becomes sort of the plaything of Magnus Greel and an extra assassin to help Chang.
Yeah.
He's played by Deep Roy. Physical performer Deep Roy, who's been in God knows how many things over the years.
He was Sam's double in
the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He was the Oompa Loompas in that Willy Wonka film that only you like.
Right, can I just clear something up?
No, because we're not got long in the video.
It's not great. It's not great. It's not even good.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's better. Neither of them are good, really, but one of them's got more memorable songs and a better Wonka, and that is Gene Wilder, hands down.
Well, the DVD,
Johnny's performance is
DVD box smells like chocolate, and it still does after all this time.
We could just buy chocolate and eat chocolate and get better enjoyment out of chocolate.
Do they do candles that smell like chocolate, do you think?
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just buy chocolate. Put it in a brew.
Ugh.
And then drink chocolate. Like Augusta's group. So, come back to Ghost.
For that Ghost fan out there. Luna, will you stop?
So yeah, he's a charlatan, but he's living in a secret lair beneath the theatre that's connected to the sewers.
Sewers, yeah.
He doesn't have an inexplicable horse out of nowhere, but he does have...
He has a cape.
And a massive bloody rat.
Giant rat. Oh, bless him.
Which is great, because it's like he's playing with his powers of manipulation, of growing things.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor finds, apparently alive, because Jago's like, don't kill it, because he's obviously thinking of like maybe showing it off. Although it never bloody moves. They find a big spider that's like tarantula sized, and it's a money spider.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the big rat, which, when it's a live rat in a little set, looks really good.
Yeah. When
it's a costume... So, yeah, but Phantom of the Opera, like, cloak...
You can find that toy in Hamleys. Next to the Action Man.
Oh, God. The tissue compression eliminated Action Man.
That's the Doctor Who section.
Oh, God. Then there's, so he's committing murders up in the rafters. Mm-hmm. There's a fight between him and the Doctor up above the stage with the pulleys and the ropes, and... Like the sort of the groundskeeper of it all, he gets murdered.
Yeah.
It's it's very Phantom. There's organ orchestration whenever we're in the lair.
Kidnapping women, and they end up in their undies,
Yeah, there's a lot of bloomers.
It's a thing.
There's a lot of bloomers in this.
No singing, though.
Leela is bloodthirsty in this. She's getting stuck in. She's stabbing people up.
She is, with a good carving knife.
With that best carving knife. I think what's great about this is there's a lot of scenes in this one. Who wrote this one? Who does it say on the back? It usually says just under there.
Robert Holmes.
So Robert Holmes. Robert Holmes with his classic sort of. He's one of the writers who introduces a lot of double acts into it. Characters who work well off of each other that are just in that story.
Well, he obviously does it very well.
But he also kind of understands that we need to give a crap about the other people in it. Mm-hmm. So he never overcrowds the cast. There's only ever like 5 additional characters from our mains who have significant parts.
Right.
We get to spend time with them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of scenes in this with just Leela and Professor Lightfoot just interacting.
Yeah.
Like where they have dinner, and she's just eating the chicken leg whole.
She picks up, and then
it's like a turkey breast, and then she's just chowing down.
Spider-Man's taking a top.
Oh, great! Okay, we need to wrap up soon because these animals are getting restless.
Luna, you're a pain in my butt, but I love you.
She's a peeking homunculus.
Such a peeking homunculus.
So there's that kind of aspect. There's the playful aspect. Leela gets to dress up in like 2 different Victorian era outfits in this. The Doctor is essentially dressed as Sherlock Holmes for the entirety of the story. Yeah. Jago is Jago and Lightfoot are relevant to the entirety of the plot. And as a result, because we spent time with them in individual scenes, getting to know them, we care about them.
Yeah.
So when they are trying to escape of their own volition in the last part, it's so much fun.
So fun.
Robert Holmes' handling of Victorian era conversation as well is great.
Really good.
Not many writers can nail that type of dialogue and it sound natural because it's over-explanatory. And there's lots of metaphor and lot of simile and lots of very colourful things painted in very simple expressions. Things we could just pass as that. They're like, would you see fit to possibly show me this, that, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, what the heck? Just say, pass me the salt. But you never get tired of it in this because...
actually telling you he needs a first aider.
I'm having a heart attack. The performance is great from these two. Really and every other part, the stagehand who's frightened of the basement floor because he keeps seeing things. The ghost that turns out to be a projection on purpose just to freak people out.
Just to keep them away from that area.
Yeah, the girl, the one who we actually meet on the street who gets taken in, you get a sense of who she is before she's just basically turned into, life-draining meat. Although she makes it out alive. Yeah.
Because Leela takes her place to see what's going on.
It's just that you care about everyone in this, and it's really fun. The Doctor's enthusiasm encourages everyone. It's such a great story.
Yeah.
Shame about the racism.
Yeah.
and that's to put it in a frivolous way.
Yeah.
But the Talons of Weng-Chiang. Oh, Leela's down. The Talons of Weng-Chiang rounds off a season. Masque of Mandragora. Hand of Fear, Deadly Assassin, Face of Evil, Robots of Death, Talons of Weng-Chiang. What was your favourite story this series?
Robots of Death.
Robots of Death!
Yeah.
Woo! Onto a wiener. Close second?
Talons of Weng-Chiang.
Talons of Weng-Chiang.
Because we actually watched the Robots of Death all in one.
We watched Hand of Fear all in one as well.
And
Deadly Assassin. We blew through
series.
3 of them in one go.
And then
on the night we watched Robots of Death, we watched 4 episodes of Talons.
Yeah, we watched a lot of Doctor Who.
So we need to crack on. We need to absolutely crack on. But are you happy? Are you happy with the direction it's going in now?
Yeah.
Philip Hinchcliffe is leaving now. The gothic tone is going to go away, but not just yet. It's going to linger for a while.
I do find that the Doctor is quite mean to Leela, though.
Okay.
When she's kidnapped, when she's carried away, the Doctor's like, "Oh no."
Oh no! Wait.
Well, I'm gonna carry on doing what I was doing.
Well, I better get on.
And then later on, have you seen Leela?
When he haggles for her life in Talons, that's really good because he's completely in charge.
Yeah.
When he bargains for her life and everything, and keeping Jago and Lightfoot safe.
Yeah, I do think that everything is a little bit mean to her, though.
Well,
maybe it's because he wanted to travel on his own and she just ran in the town.
Who's this bugger? I'll keep her around because she's got lovely legs. Something for the dads. Eh? So, yeah.
You're very creepy.
Hello.
Why has she got such tiny hands?
Because figures.
She's not in proportion.
Doctor Who Season 14, have you watched it? I hope so, because otherwise we'll just spoil the whole damn thing.
Sorry.
What do you think? Let us know down below. And what story next series do you think is going to win Lucy over? Because next series, we kick off with another one of my favourites from this era. We're journeying to Fang Rock.
Oh.
Yes. But until then, kiss the Crispy Master.
Crispy!
Kiss him!